Hi guys, welcome to the Woman Speak podcast. I'm your host Joyce Sylvester. Um First of all, before we even start this episode, I just want to say that you being alive this moment is a great privilege. Is God's literal mercy on you. Past few weeks we've had security issues, people killed, mothers losing their children, and this topic is very sensitive because it makes me teary. But then, for you standing here, for you being alive, is a great privilege. And I want to just say that we need to hold on to God more because the government is failing. The security, and sometimes the government may try to help, but their hands are tied. They don't really have the solution to help at this point. But the only one who has the solution is God. So in this point, in this season, hold God tight, hold God strongly. So now back to the episode for today. So today we'll be having a street episode because of the circumstances, the situation in town and all that. But trust me, when everything is calm, we're going to go back to the street to hear what women have to say on certain topics. But we're going to have a recap of all the episodes, all the street episodes we've done so far. So far, we've done 6 street episodes on different topics. We're going to have a recap for 3 episodes. That is this week, next week, and upper week. 6 topics and have a recap on what we have learned. Because once podcast is not just all about having episodes, dropping episodes every weekend and let's do the fun of it, but that women are learning, not only women alone but also men too are learning, because some of the topics we've even discussed are not gender based. So we're going to have a recap. What have we learned so far? What are the ladies saying? For this episode, we're going to be taking the topic what you should do differently this year. I know we've entered the month of March and we're almost getting to half of the year. God, this year is going so fast, but it's not too late to redirect if you're going in the wrong path, right? So we're going to have a recap on what ladies actually said and what should we do differently this year. And secondly, we'll look at what God sees when he looks at you. This question is a very interesting question. I got a lot of feedbacks from people when we interviewed them. I honestly learned, I'm actually the first partaker whenever we go on these street episodes, because God lays a lot of things in people's minds, in people's heart, and sometimes they are not aware. And so we learned a whole lot that day. So we're going to go do a recap on this too.
Who gives you attention this year? They kills a girl in the hotel room of New Year, New Me, right? Because I believe that, okay, let me look at the camera.
So welcome back, guys. So we just watched the recap of the first episode we had, what we should do differently this year. One of the things that stood out for me was get busy. Don't stay idle. And this getting busy, a lot of people are doing things but are not actually doing things. I don't know whether you understand what I'm trying to say. So this really stood out for me. Whatever you find your hands doing, the Bible said that do them and do it well. So when you're getting busy, you're doing that thing you're doing or that purpose you're doing well, because we want to do a lot of things. A lot of people are doing things and sometimes you feel threatened. Oh, am I left out? And you just do things for the fun of it, but we're not doing it well. So that was one of the things that stood out for me. Whatever you find your hands doing, do it well. Is it academics? Is it fashion? Is it whatever you find your hands doing, do it well. Second, one of the things that really stood out for me was take everything step by step. Don't be too hard on yourself, because I know you are already so far gone in the year and it's like, I'm doing so much, I'm putting a lot, I'm not getting the results I expected, or I had this plan laid out for 2026 and I'm not fulfilling that plan. Take it step by step. Don't crush yourself. Take it step by step. Have a bullet point. Break down what you want to do according to days, according to weeks, according to months. Give yourself grace. This has really been helpful to me because I'm someone who is too hard on myself. If I'm not doing or achieving what I expect to achieve, I'm so hard. I keep pushing, I keep being hard on myself. But give yourself grace. There are times when you say, okay, I've done enough. Clap for yourself. Give yourself your flowers. But that does not mean that you should sit down in mediocrity. Right? So give yourself grace. In the same vein, work hard. Put yourself out there. I did a video on my TikTok some months back, and I said, put yourself out there, put yourself out there, put yourself out there. So when you're busy, when you're doing something and fulfilling destiny and doing something that you love, yes, I say that very importantly, doing something that you love. Don't do things because people are doing them or it's yielding more in that. So do something that you love. God's purpose for your life is giving you something that you love, that you enjoy. Because when there's joy in doing something that you want, when you meet hardship, when you meet things, difficulty, it still gives you a driving force to move on. Like speaking about Women's Speak Podcast, this is something I love. I love to learn. I love that women are enlightened. I love that when women talk, women are doing great things for themselves. I like to see when women are ignorant or women get into a lot of trouble because they are ignorant. And so this is a passion and as well as a gift from God to do. So even when I meet with hardships, I meet with struggles, let's keep going, let's keep doing it. Even when things are hard, the driving force is that you're doing something that you love. So that was also one of the things that stood out for me. One other thing that stood out for me was love yourself. Love yourself and choose your companion wisely. Don't beg for love. Your people that God has put in your life will cherish you. You don't need to make a big deal. You don't need to put any much effort to be loved. People who are meant for you, who need to be in your circle, sent by God, will love you regardless. You don't need to impress. You don't need to dim your light. You don't need to do certain, act funny for them to love you. People that love you will love you. Right? So that's one of the things that stood out for me. A lot of people who have gone into the previous years especially women, are giving their all to be loved. They feel if I give my body, if I give my finances, if I give this, if I give that, if I just obey what my friends or my man or whatever asks me to do, I will get that love back. If I give my body, I will get the love back. But love, a person who genuinely loves you, a person who is meant for you, who is meant to love you and care for you, you don't have to give your body or give out yourself to the extent that you lose yourself for their love. So that was also one of the things that took for me. Love who loves you. I know we are also Christians and we have to love others, and even though people don't treat you right and all that, but as much as you're loving others, don't lose yourself. As you are loving others, don't lose yourself. So that was one of the things that also stood out for me. So what stood out for you in this topic? So now let's go to the next topic, and the next topic was, what does God see when he looks at you? It also made me to think, right? What does God see when he looks at me? Put yourself in the lens of God. And a lot of people had so much things to say. Some said God sees them as a garden. What does God see when he looks at you?
God sees us as a garden.
He did not make a mistake in creating me.
I haven't seen God, but I speak to God always.
Strong women.
God sees grace too in us because the femininity that you carry is
after his will.
Rewrite people's stories.
wants to submit to his totality.
God is not really looking because we're perfect beings.
A lot of people said a lot of things, and they were very much impactful. God speaking through them. So when God created woman, he saw us as someone who's fruitful, someone who multiplies. Let's go back to the Bible story of Adam and Eve, right? Eve was someone who was called the helper of man, someone who was fruitful. So as a woman, you carry the ability to be fruitful, to multiply. There's this saying that when a woman comes into a man's life grows even more. I don't know how to put it, but so as a woman, you are fruitful. God sees a woman being fruitful, a woman who multiplies, who builds. We are a builder, right? And so that was one of the things that also stood out for me. One of the things that also stood out for me was that the lady said God sees her as beautifully and wonderfully made. And it's painful that a lot of ladies are walking feeling ugly, feeling they are not loved, feeling they are not worthy, and God is like, oh my God, you are damn beautiful. And some people don't actually see that. So I like the fact that some ladies see that God sees them as beautiful, as godly, in his image, in his likeness. So that really stood out for me. It made me to start seeing myself, because when you start seeing yourself in the way God sees you, there's a way you carry yourself, there's a way you expect love. You don't beg for love because you are loved. So that really stood out for me as well. Some said God sees them as someone fulfilling destiny. God always wants us to fulfill destiny. He brought us to this earth for a purpose. And whenever he sees us, he wants us to fulfill destiny. He knows our capacity. And the funny thing, we do not know our capacity. That's the thing. A lot of people don't know their capacity. And God is saying, you are capable. You are so capable. You can do this. You can do so many things. You are so capable. And some people don't see it. So I like the fact that she says that God sees her as someone who is capable of fulfilling purpose. So now I want to ask you a question, a very important question. What does God see when he looks at you? Please drop a comment. It can motivate someone who happens to read it. I know God is a master planner. He takes advantage of every opportunity. So that comment you feel like you're just dropping to encourage me can be an encouragement to someone else. So you don't know, just feel led. Whatever the Holy Spirit has put in your mind to drop in the comment section, please do. Please obey. It can be a blessing to someone. So I'm so glad that we had a review of the episode of these first two episodes, right? What should we do differently, and what does God see when he looks at you? So in our next episode, we'll take up the two other episodes and we'll have a recap of what you have learned. On to the next episode. Bye.